Hello guys and dolls, welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my Ride or Die makeup products tag. This tag was started months and months ago, and actually I had filmed one, but I didn't really like the way it had turned out, so I was like, you know, let's just go ahead and refilm it. Before I just dive right into it, for those of you who are not familiar with this tag, I thought I'd just kind of explain it. Instead of your typical favorites video where it's kind of like, well, I've been using this for the last 3 weeks and I like it, these are things that are like ride or die. They work for you every single time. They're amazing products. If you run out of them, you immediately go out and repurchase them, or if you, if you could, some of these are actually limited edition, some of the ones I'm going to share. Not most of them. Most of them are permanent, because I do tend to prefer products that you can repurchase, because if I really like it, I want it again. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with my favorites. Oh, and you might hear Rocco in the background. He's walking around. He's, you guys know the drill. So the first thing I want to talk about is foundation, and I'm going to include two because I use both powder and liquid foundations pretty frequently, and it felt kind of like weird to leave one or the other out. So I'm going to start out with the one that I've used now for over a decade, or almost a decade. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I use the shade Light. Sometimes I use Light Plus, just depending on how deep my skin is. But what I love about this powder, and I know this phrase is like massively overused, but I'm gonna say it, it's a very skin-like natural powder look. This is a baked powder. You can see mine's pretty beefed up. It's got the belly buttoning happening, or when you hit pan, as they say. It looks very natural. It has a glow to it. It doesn't look like powdery and overly done. It also doesn't have like an insane amount of pigmentation the way that like MAC Studio Fix, is that what it's called? Anyway, that one has like crazy full coverage. You can get awesome coverage, and I love that powder too. But this is one that has a little bit less coverage, so it just looks very natural and skin-like, and your skin just looks super evened out. And almost every time that I get a compliment on my skin as opposed to my makeup, it's usually when I'm just wearing this and a little bit of mascara, a nice light lip or something, and people will say, oh my god, your skin is so beautiful, and I'm like, thanks, it's MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. Yeah, the bag. Oh, look at him. Alright, buddy, there you go. There's a treat. So the next foundation that I cannot live without is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is my total Ride or Die. This is something that's relatively new. I think I've only had this since the summer when it came out. First of all, the bottle's beautiful, which is just an added bonus. Another thing I really like about this is that it has an elevator style pump, which means that as you pump it out, the little lever on the bottom comes up, which means that there's no air getting into your foundation, so it's not oxidizing and it's not going bad, which means a tube of this will last you longer than a more traditional pump style foundation, or heaven forbid, one that you just pour out. Those ones, some of the formulas are great. I'm just saying, like, in terms of it lasting longer, that's just not really the best method. This foundation, though, what I love about it, this is the first foundation that I have really truly felt doesn't need to be set with powder. Most of them, they're either too dry when they set and they look horrible and I just don't really care for that look, or I feel just like still feel wet on my face and I feel like I need to set them. And for me, that is huge. I didn't set it with powder today. I'm wearing it now. It gives me crazy good coverage. It lasts really well. When they say all-nighter, what they really mean is this will last all damn day. I actually started using this in my makeup kit. I used this for my best friend's wedding, and her makeup looked flawless from the time I put it on till the time she took it off. Freaking amazing. Love this. Actually, I need to stock all of the colors in my kit because I'm finding myself more and more wanting to use this versus some of my other foundations that I have. And I have other foundations that work better when you want like a more sheer kind of look, because the all-nighter is definitely full coverage and you really can't sheer it out. And one other little caveat of it is you have to work fast because it does set quickly. But as long as you work quickly, you have like this beautiful canvas, and it's just like, it's the best. It's just the best foundation. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But my absolute favorite Ride or Die, have to have it, cannot live without it, it works with everything primer, is the Veil Hourglass Primer. This stuff is the bomb. It's expensive. I'm gonna just lay it out there. This is not an inexpensive product. I have repurchased this over and over and over again. The reason why I love this are so very, very many reasons. It does a little bit with the pore minimization. It does actually help. It has a lotion-like texture, so it doesn't feel highly silicone. So it doesn't feel like kind of like overly thick on your face. I like things that feel like relatively clean and like I'm not wearing a ton of makeup. I also love that this has sunscreen in it, and it has a physical sunscreen of both zinc and titanium oxide. So actually it has like real sunscreen in here that's actually going to help defend your skin from the sun. The other thing I love about this is it spreads really, really well and really evenly. It does give a slight like whitish cast, so if you have a deeper skin tone, you want to really make sure you're using a nice foundation on top of it to cover it up. Otherwise, this is absolutely my favorite. I think the packaging is beautiful and elegant. Love this. We'll continue to repurchase it over and over and over because it's just that good. So the next category is concealer, and this one was a little bit difficult. There's a lot of different concealers I use for different applications. There are days like today that I don't wear any concealer. In fact, I'm not wearing any concealer, and if that tells you how much coverage this foundation has, I mean, seriously, it's the bomb. So my favorite concealer, one that is consistently good, that I always go to, it works every time. It doesn't really crease, it doesn't smear, it's great on zits, it's great under the eyes. That is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This stuff is pretty freaking bomb. Again, it's a little bit on the expensive side. You don't get a ton of product. You get 0.16 ounces, which is like really, really minimal. Your average concealer is at least 1/4 of an ounce, usually about 1/3 of an ounce, but it does have a good amount of color payoff, so a little bit goes a long way, truly. The other thing I really like about this is it's highly compatible with the Urban Decay color correcting fluids, so it's really easy to mix these together to get a customized color. Like for instance, if I were to just use the peach shade under my eyes, it's much too deep for me because I'm super pale, but if I mix it in with my concealer, I get the perfect little peachy shade that I need. It just really works well. The whole line kind of works very compatibly together, so that would be my favorite. The next category is face powder, and again, I'm going to include two. I'm cheating a little bit maybe, but I do feel like in certain instances things do such a different job that to pick one or the other, it's like apples and oranges. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the RCMA No Color Powder. This stuff is the bomb. This is just freaking fabulous. It's really inexpensive. Previously I was in love with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and it's still really good, but this is just so much cheaper. I love that it's colorless. It works on everyone. It really sets makeup beautifully. It really does a great job of like evening out pores and everything. Highly recommend this stuff. You can get it from Beautylish, Camera Ready Cosmetics, just like a bajillion places sell it now. So in terms of like a powder that you can set your makeup with it, but really it works best as like a touch-up powder or like a maintenance powder throughout the day, something to dab any shine away with, something to just kind of resurface your skin, because as the day wears on, sometimes makeup can with this foundation, it's very rare that I really need to look more perfect, but just a little, you know, like refreshing and stuff throughout the day is quite nice and can make you physically feel a little bit fresher as well. Because even when your makeup looks super perfect, sometimes it can like feel a little funky, you know what I mean? So a powder that is an absolute ride or die, cannot live without it, is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, what do they call this? Airbrush Flawless Finish. I use the shade Fair. This stuff is the bomb. The bomb. The only thing that pisses me off about this powder is it only comes in 3 shades, and they really need to expand that shade range so that everyone can get on this. This powder, you can see it's belly buttoned. I've already repurchased another one because I cannot be without this. This just gives like a veil of perfection. It always looks good. It minimizes pores. It's not too textured. It's not too dry. It is literally just perfect. I don't feel like I've ever encountered another powder that has impressed me the way that this one does. This is so good, and I feel like a lot of people that have tried it feel that way about it. It's just one of those powders that once you try it, you're like, holy shit, I can't go back, man. One thing that does kind of blow is that it does go quickly, probably because it's so perfect to use it, and it's pretty expensive. But again, when something's expensive but like gives you something for that or is worth it, I don't mind as much. When something's really expensive and you're like, I don't want to pay for the name just because it says Guerlain on it or something, I'm not interested in that. But something where it's actually like this is elegant packaging, the product itself is really, really good, I think it's totally worth it. Okay guys, so the next category is blush, and this one was super easy to figure out which one was my favorite. It was immediate, like, okay, Spellbound, Makeup Geek, love this blush. It works every single time with every single look, just total ride or die type of color. This will always look good on almost everyone. Every single time, every single way. It always goes with any makeup look. It's one that I will even, like, if I'm doing some other blush and I'm like, this isn't just quite right yet, I will add this to it. I'm not wearing it today. I'm wearing a different blush because, like, I do have to, like, try to use some of my other makeup, but this one you can see it's pretty beefed up. I use this quite often. I love this blush. Absolutely fabulous. and really inexpensive. So if you don't already have this one, it's definitely one. Get it. You'll love it. You will absolutely love this blush. You'll be happy you bought it. Bronzer. Okay, so I don't really wear a lot of bronzer because it's just not my aesthetic. But when I do, like, not to sound like the most interesting man in the world or anything, but like, I don't always wear bronzer. But when I do, it's Sweet Tea from Too Faced. First of all, the packaging is like undeniably beautiful and cute and just adorbs. And I mean, but the bronzer itself is a beautiful glowy bronzer, and it's a cool undertone. A lot of other bronzers are very warm, and on me they just look like orangey blush. It just doesn't really quite work for me. Whereas this one has enough of a cool undertone to it where it gives my skin a glow. It gives me a bit of warmth because it's not totally grayed out or anything like that, but it gives me that glow that you're looking for from bronzer in a tone that works for me paleness. That's what I was going to say. That's just really fabulous. Next category is contour. And for me, contour is one of those things. Again, I'm searching for a certain kind of texture. I'm searching for one that is matte, but not like dry and like dirt-ish looking. I've used some contour powders where I'm like, what in the hell were they thinking when they made this? It's too pigmented. It's too dry. It just looks like horrible brown chalk on your face. Likewise, I see a lot of things marketed as contour that have shimmer in them, and I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? So my actual favorite right now is the It Cosmetics You Sculpted palette. This is the bomb. This has 4 different shades of contour. This one is the one that I actually use for contour, but these ones I use to warm up the face. Again, kind of in a bronzery kind of way. Sometimes I just wear them as blush. What I also really love about this palette is that it has highlights included, and these are 2 of my absolute favorite highlights. So matte highlight and radiance highlight. So this one gives you a bit of a glow. This is what I'm wearing today. This is my shimmer. It is super glowy, but I'm also wearing matte highlight on my chin and on my nose and stuff, which gives me like a little bit of life to the skin, especially since the Urban Decay foundation that I'm using can be a little bit on the like very mattified side. So this gives me a little bit of a glow and a little bit more natural look to the skin, so I don't look quite as made up. Love this palette. Again, this is one that if you buy it, I don't think you'll regret it. I think you'll really enjoy this. Definitely worth the investment. Category is actually highlighter, and I know I just talked about the highlighters in that palette, but just bear with me because my other favorite is like a super hardcore favorite that if and when I will run out, I will absolutely repurchase, and that is the Ambient Light palette from Hourglass, or really just the ambient light powders in general, specifically Dim Light, this one here. This is one of my all-time favorite highlighters. What I really like to do with this palette though is just kind of rub it on all 3 and just use them all together. Bomb texture. It's not too glittery, it's not too shimmery, it's not too metallic, it's just perfect. It's like the Goldilocks of highlighters. The other thing too is on the Hourglass website you now have the option to create your own palette, which is so cool. So if there's colors in here you're not really all that thrilled with, you can kind of switch them out for some that you might like better, which I think is really cool. And when this runs out, that's probably what I'll do. Although I kind of just like this as it is. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Mascara. Okay, so for a long time there, I was doing the mascara of the month in my monthly favorites. I don't really do monthly favorites anymore, so I don't do the mascara of the month anymore. When it comes to mascara, I have one very specific request. It cannot smudge on me, period. If it smudges on me, I'm not into it. The thing is that most mascara smudges on me, and there are like a very limited number of mascaras that I'm willing to go through the maintenance of having to keep cleaning up my under eye all day. I'm just not into it. I want it to go on, not fudge. That was smudge and flake put together. I don't want my mascara to fudge. So my main qualification is that it not smudge. Beyond that, I want volume too. I want volume in my lashes, and I want it to hold curl. That's pretty much what I'm going for. So the mascara types that I go to for that are tubing style mascaras. They're latex based mascaras that like almost create like a hard shell around your lash. So the tubing style mascaras are like incredibly waterproof. You can cry with them on and they won't come off, they won't smudge, they won't flake, they won't fudge. But they also come off with warm water. It's a really cool thing, so you don't have to work as hard with makeup remover to get them off. They're not like a lot of waterproof mascaras where you're like, oh my god, can I just be done taking this off already? So my current favorite is this one from Clinique. I forget the actual name of this, Flutter to Full. So this is an interesting one where you can kind of create, you know, more or less volume depending on how much you've twisted this. It opens or closes up the little wiper inside the mascara, so you can get more or less mascara on the actual wand. Love this. This is a great mascara. In terms of tubing style mascaras, it's one of the like more moderately priced ones. It's not crazy expensive. This is again one that I think if you buy it, you'll love it. In terms of lipstick, this is really hard and this is gonna be really unsatisfying for you guys, but I cannot pick one. I am not a red lipstick girl. I'm not a pink lipstick girl. I am not a purple lipstick girl. I'm not a blue lipstick girl. I'm not a green lipstick girl. I am all of those things. I just love lipstick. I love matte lipstick. I love creamy lipstick. I love shiny lipstick. I just fucking love lipstick. I just said it. I just fucking love lipstick. It's my favorite and I cannot pick one. I am sorry that is unsatisfactory for you. So I will leave you with one little nugget. Here are two that were in my purse. This is more like a traditional favorites video, but this is not like me going through my lipstick and trying to pick out a favorite. These are just ones that are actually in my purse. And they are the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche in Fig. This is just a really great pink lipstick. It's effortless. It goes with everything. And then this is MAC Claret Cast. This is one of their lip tensity lipsticks, incredibly pigmented, a nice cranberry color. This went with me when I had the warmer like reddish color hair. This goes great with me now that I have the green hair. It's just a great goes with everything kind of lipstick. So those are in categories that are a little bit different from like reds or pinks or something that's like super specific. These are good lipsticks that go with everything. I hope that's satisfying for you guys. I know you guys want me to give you like one ultimate lipstick, but I just don't have one singular favorite. Now with that in mind, the next category is favorite liquid lipstick, and I do have a favorite for that. Favorite liquid lipstick is Techno Pagan from OCC. I have this layered with a couple of other products today, like I layered some powder eyeshadows on top of it to give me a slight ombre and to change the color of it a little bit, but otherwise it's like somewhere between blue and purple. Blurple, very similar to the roots of my hair. I love this color in general, but I have loved this lipstick. I felt like that was very like fake, like, oh, I'm so delightful. I love this lipstick. In all seriousness, I love this lipstick. You guys know I love it. I always go to it. I don't wear it as often as I should. It's one of my favorites, and it's one that I'm kind of sad that I don't get a chance to wear more often. And it's really only self-imposed because like I could be putting it on every day, and I always get a lot of compliments when I wear it. It's one of those colors that when I first started wearing this, I was really nervous to wear it in public the first time. I'm like, are people staring at me? I have blue lips. Now I have blue and green hair, so I really give no fucks. But this is my favorite. It's very metallic. It's just bomb. This is the bomb, you guys. This is one that, again, I think if you buy it, you're not going to regret this. This will be one of your favorites. You can also layer other things on top of it to get a different effect like I did today. It just is bomb. In fact, if you guys want to see a tutorial on these lips, let me know. They're a little bit mushed together and a little bit less ombre-ish now because I've been talking, but let me know if you want to see that. Next favorite is like so polar opposite. This is lip gloss, and my actual favorite is NARS Chelsea Girls. It's my favorite lip gloss. Unfortunately, I can't find it right now. I think it went on a vacation to Mexico and it just ditched me and never came back. So my current favorite and the one that I'm using is the Laura Mercier Lip Glacé in Blush. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not much of a lip gloss girl. I really am not. I prefer, again, lipstick. Love that super intense color. It's my aesthetic. It's what I like. But on the rare occasion that I do go for a more natural kind of lip look and I wear gloss, it's usually a very natural color because I don't want to deal with the maintenance of like a super pigmented glossy lip. If you like those more intensely colored lip glosses, the Milani line is phenomenal. I actually really like those. When I do wear a very colorful glossy lip, that's what I do. Really don't fancy paying like $20 for lip gloss, especially since I don't wear them very often. I do occasionally buy myself like the Laura Mercier one or the NARS one because they're ones I get a lot of use out of, but in terms of like highly pigmented ones, I do tend to favor the less expensive ones like Milani. The next category is eyelashes, and my absolute favorite eyelashes are these ones from Eylure. There was a whole line that they did with Katy Perry, and the lashes themselves are colored, and the way that they're fanned out is so beautiful. They look amazing every single time. Every time I wear these, you guys are like, what are those lashes? And I don't wear them very often in videos anymore because they're discontinued. They don't sell these anymore. I don't know if they didn't want to pay Katy Perry the licensing for these lashes anymore, whatever, but hey, Eylure, I'm here for you. I got you. I'm cheap. I would love to be the face of these lashes. They're just genuinely my favorite. I covet them. I have a small back stock of these that I use very sparingly. I will use these 30 or 40 times before I finally am like, okay, these are actually dead. I have to throw them out. They are fabulous. They're my absolute favorite. So my other favorite lashes are the Shy lashes from Kiss. These are very naturalistic. They are not like in your face like the way that the Ka-Pow lashes are like colorful and long and fluttery and oh my god. These are a bit more naturalistic. They're very easy to wear. They're incredibly lightweight. And they have this thing called the Kiss tapered end where the individual hairs have been like razored. So they're very thin and they don't have that like banged off look that a lot of cheap eyelashes have. Love these. And they're also inexpensive. This pack I think I bought for, I don't remember. I bought it at Walmart. It was not expensive, but the individual lashes are usually in the $3.50 to $5 range depending on which drugstore you buy them at. So the next category is eyeshadow palette, and this was really hard for me. It was very difficult to pick a particular eyeshadow palette because again, I like my bright colors, I like my neutrals, I like my jewel tones, I love so many things. So instead of going for a current palette, I'm going to talk to you about a palette that got me into makeup. I was already into makeup, but this was like the beginning of like the hardcore obsession, and it's one that I absolutely I love. This is so precious to me. This is my MAC Royal Assets Metallic Eyes palette. First of all, this palette is actually metal. Thank you. I really wish more companies would come out with high quality, limited edition holiday stuff. I think that's something we could go into that another time. In fact, let me know if you want to know what I think of this year's holiday palettes. For today's video, we're just talking about my favorite. This one, it has a nice quality mirror. Of course, you can't get this. This came out in like 2007, so this is like long gone. So the next category is setting spray, and this is one of those things where, to be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of setting spray. I don't always use it. I don't think it's necessary all the time. And I think that depending on the foundation that you're using and the person's personal body chemistry, it doesn't always work. But with all of that in mind, the one setting spray that I do use on occasion that is incredibly old school and works every single time is hairspray. Just any old hairspray, whatever is your favorite, it will lock your shit in place. It's not great for the skin. I wouldn't use it all the time. This is like a special occasion kind of thing. It's a reason why it's been a hardcore drag staple for decades, is because it works. It really genuinely works. It's great for performers. It's great for brides. It's great for any time your makeup has to stay on lock for hours and hours. I'm using it right now, and my makeup has not traveled and it's been on for a while. The next category is eyeliner, and this one again was super hard for me. I have so many different eyeliner loves. I have my favorite reddish brown, and I have my favorite like green and purple and blah blah blah. But I thought of an eyeliner that I use often, that I use when I'm doing another look. I'll incorporate it with something else. I'll use it in conjunction with other eyeliners, and that is Marc Jacobs Jazzberry. This is a really beautiful plummy color that has a lot of warmth to it. It's sort of like a copper plum, and this just looks great with everything. I incorporate it with so many different eye looks. Actually, I need a new one because this one's getting kind of dried out, which is the one bummer of the Marc Jacobs liners. I don't feel like they stay as like wet and like smooth as long as other eyeliners, but when you first get them, oh god, it's so good. It's so good. So I actually wish that these came in a sharpenable pencil, because those ones, in my opinion, tend to stay a little bit more moist, whereas the ones where it's like a twist up, I feel get dry faster. But that's just my opinion. I do love this eyeliner though. It's really great. My next category is liquid eyeliner, and this one was incredibly easy for me. Immediately I was like, you know what? Makeup Forever ink liner. Learn it, live it, love it. This is my favorite. It's super black. It's matte. It goes on really great with my favorite eyeliner brush, which is the Delium Tools 762. Just, it's the perfect combination. Like, that is just perfect, perfect, perfect. It works every time. Because this isn't waterproof, if you make a mistake, it's easier to fix it. I know some people like super hardcore waterproof eyeliner. I just can't do that because I make mistakes and I need to be able to fix it. And just because of my eye shape and stuff, sometimes the eyeliner will like fall into one of the folds in my eyes and I've got to fix that. So I just need something that I can tweak a little bit. So the next category is specialty items. So this is something, it can be anything. It can be glitter. It can be a particular like makeup setting top coat or something. So for me, it is the glitter glue from Too Faced. This is something, I haven't had it for a terribly long period of time, maybe 6 months. This is such a ride or die for me. I cannot be without it now. I use it all the time. I use it when I'm not using glitter. A lot of times I like to do these like halo smoky eyes where I have like darker colors out here and a lighter thing in the center. And I always put this down as a base for whatever I'm putting in the center. It makes it pop. It's not too textured too. And that's something as we get a little bit older, not that I'm so old, but I am 31 years old, and so I don't have the eyelids of a 21-year-old anymore. They're not super smooth. So when you're layering a bunch of products in your eyes, sometimes it can get kind of crepey or thick or cakey or, ooh, it's just such a nightmare. So it's definitely important to keep textures in mind, and that Too Faced product does not add a weird crepey texture to my eyelid. It just keeps it all like smooth and tight and perfect, and it makes everything I put on top of it pop. It works incredibly well with glitters. Of course, it's glitter glue, so naturally it works well with that. And the Moon Dust eyeshadows from Urban Decay and that product together are like the perfect marriage. It works every time. Makes the Moon Dust eyeshadows look so pigmented and so perfect. It's something I highly recommend. Highly recommend if you are interested in using any kind of shimmery or metallic or glittery eyeshadows in the center part of your lid or just on your eyelid in general. The next category is eyeshadow single. This is something that's not part of a palette. It's a single like pan eyeshadow that you just love. And for me, it is the Ardency in Manuka Honey Rose Gold. This is... oh, I just wish that sometimes that I could have you guys here in person. So like I could have you here and you could swatch and you could see what it looks like in person. I'll give you guys like a back of my hand swatch, which my hand is like super dry right now. And just, oh, can you see this? Can you see this? For me, it's like almost like a lavender based rose gold. It has a cool undertone to it with coppery beautifulness that's just insanely beautiful. It looks so good on the lid with a nice warm color in the crease. This is like a total go-to ride or die kind of eyeshadow. You can see mine's a little beefed up. I use it really often. Love this. Another thing I love is that this is like a magnetic pan, so you can use a magnet and get this out and put it in a palette and then pop it right back in its little casing. Fabulous. I need to get more of these Ardency in eyeshadows because I think that they're just one of the best formulas. Super metallic, super shiny. I mean, it's just beautiful. That's just perfect. This is a perfect eyeshadow. Like, can we agree? This is like amazing. It also works so well with like purple eyeshadows. If you like the African Violet shade from Laura Mercier, which is a great eyeshadow, but is maybe like kind of lacking in pigmentation or like you kind of feel like you need to build it up, try the Rose Gold from the Manuka Honey line from Ardency In. I'm telling you guys, like that, it's oh, so good. So that'll about do it for my makeup ride or die tag. I know this video is going to be super long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will have a link to everything in the description bar down below. I know this is going to be a very long list of products. There's just some things that I just really, really love, and I thought this was such a great tag. So I want to thank Jaclyn Hill for creating this tag. It really makes a lot of sense to talk about things that you've loved for a number of years, or maybe just things that are like, once you try them, like with the glitter glue, for instance, like once you try them, you're like, how did I do my makeup without this? Because there's things where like, you know, they're kind of your favorite in the moment, but they're not like a ride or die. So it's fun to do the ride or die tag. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.